We have the salon.
Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, welcome everybody. Yeah, also Gisela, welcome. And I heard many people from other countries. Welcome everybody. All the familiar faces getting old, welcome. Growing in a different direction, welcome. And also on the the Zoom, we have quite a few people, I think, right?
Yeah.
Usually I would love to see the faces, but since I cannot see, I just want to. So very happy to be back as always, every so many years. And also happy from last year to this year, seems like with all the situation with the COVID, seems like a much more ease, so happy for that. But even though there is no particular guidelines or rules from the government or from our Sangha, but I would still highly recommend individuals, if you are feeling, what it feels, you hear a lot of time, then I would strongly recommend not to ignore it and just trying to do a testing. Maybe we can have some testing at registration place so that you can come and test and isolate yourself. Highly recommend that. There's no need to to spread that. Yeah. This morning before I left home, I tested myself, so you never know. If I did not come, it will be very disappointing for all of us, but I tested negative, so I'm happy for that. Yeah, so I'm very much looking forward for our stay here together. And there are also quite a few new people that I want to especially welcome.
Dania.
And every time new people comes, I don't know what you're really expecting here, but don't expect too much. So the whole idea is to not to expect too much from life, to live always this infinite possibility changes. It's far better to be more open and trust to unknown than just expecting from whatever the weak in identity is expecting one limited thing. Enjoy your time alone here, enjoy your time with the people, enjoy this beautiful sacred space. Stay open, allow blessings to unknown, prayers like Tsalung Soldev, which you don't know what that we are talking about. So if you're staying open, trust with everybody else praying, you might have a much more deeper experiences than wondering what that is. And also, I see some faces been very long time here, many years. Especially welcome those people. Feel very good about that. Because it's always like a commitment from the teacher and student. No matter what happens, ups and downs and stories and so on, but we are still hanging there together, like a family, like a couple, like a student teacher. We are all doing our best to grow. We always goes ups and downs. But no matter which direction we are going, how we are going, which facing challenges, we are always here together for each other. As a Sangha, I feel the same. I'm there for all of you. Those who are here with me and need me, I'm there. So this journey is a very long journey, But every part of the journey, I think it's good to stay open, trust, and connected. And so specifically, teaching of Tumo that we started 3 years ago, and we are continuing. Probably some of you are very diligently following texts and teachings and practice, and maybe some of you are kind of following, some of you are not following, but you're here. Every time we will refresh ourselves and trying to do our best. End of the day, it is not different from any other teachings, particularly any other like a tantric teachings, or maybe you can say any other teachings. What we are trying to do, we're trying to transform ourselves. We're trying to change.
Czyli w praktyce chcemy się zmienić.
We're trying to change so we can live better, fuller, more helpful. At least that's the idea, right? I hope we all feel that. I mean, I feel the same thing, we just one teaching after another, one kind of practice after another. End of the day, we are trying to recognize our more fullness of ourselves. That makes sense? We're trying to change, but not by not forcing. And you see, life changes. Regardless of you change or not, life changes around us all the time. Sometimes situation in life changes for us more than we're trying to change with our awareness. But it is far better or more fun to change by awareness than the circumstances changing you all the time. So when you think about transformation or change, what do you think, right? Like if you look at the Tummo teaching, there's a lot of teaching, knowledge, explanations about the channels, chakras, tigles, I said the tigles and winds, and all this, a lot of explanation, a lot of details. Basically, whole anatomy, sacred anatomy of our body or our energy body, our inner dimension of our awarenesses. So the inner anatomy, the inner energy, inner dimension of our awareness, reason why it's explained so much here is because it uses as a tool for transformation. It could be very complex way, the way it is taught. It could be something you take out of it, something that the way you understand, or maybe nowadays a lot of science discoveries, something that you understand. So there's a different way to approach it, but bigger picture is good to understand. In the teaching here, for all the explanation about the three tongra, like Sambhogakaya, Nirmanakaya, Dharmakaya, like three tongra, like three bodies. So as we have a taught, we have a practice. I understand that all of you have been practicing. That means this is like a transformation. When we say I transform or you transform, what does the I or you mean? When we say a lot of change happened in my life, you see them 5-6 years old, and after a couple of years later they are like already teenage, bigger than you. You said, wow, so much change you've grown up so much, and they are like a teenage, and they are kind of not completely knowing where they fit in life, not with the adults, not with the kids, going through a crisis. And then after a couple of months, 1 or 2 years, then they change again. They said, wow, you have changed so much. You're so mature. As they say, they're like a teenage kids. When they come back after 20s, they come back home and they say, wow, finally my parent has changed. They were horrible. Now they're back to normal, So they don't realize their mind has matured. Physical transformation, emotional growth, even physical sense of brain developing until your early 20s. They say brain is still growing. So we do grow physically, and psychologically, emotionally, some point until you adult. Then what? Do we still grow or we stop growing? That's a good question, right? So that's where Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, Nirmanakaya comes. Then we start to grow in a different direction. So it's important to keep thinking, what does it mean to the three tongra, growing, transformation in the body, transformation in the energy field, and transformation in awareness. Yeah, so I think it's good to, sometimes I'm wondering that people, when we think about growing, it seems like not everybody look at these three-dimension more integrative way. Body, the field of energy and the breath, the emotion and the mind, or even a sense of perception of self. The transformation needed to happen in all these places. And it's important. Like for example, taking care of your body. Especially as we get older, we realize how important it is to take care of your body. Taking care of your Personally, I've been paying a lot of attention to the idea of the breath. I think it's so important. We have been doing on Facebook all this dialogue between the scientists. Every month, 1 month we are talking about the body, another month we are talking about the breath, another month we are talking about the mind, and going back to the body, breath, mind, body, breath, mind, body, breath, the whole year we're discussing this. And there's so many discoveries in the science that how it is important to understand they are integrated, they are connected with each other. Like Zoku Tongra, when you're trying to transform into Tujukundo, like a goddess, enlightened being, in this case Tujukundo, but in any deity you're trying to transform, for example. So what does this mean? It's like you're trying to change something energetically, change something in your body. Because we have an image of ourselves. And usually some of these images are not very flexible or transformative. Like a tragic trauma of childhood, for example, a self-image, can remain for the adulthood whole entire life. So it's stuck in our body. So trying to transform our body, that's why it is important. But the body has inner anatomy, right? So in our normal case, we have all the organs, right? Heart, kidney, liver, spleen, playing important role in our health of our body. But in the Tumo teaching, when it's talking about the Nirmanakaya, so it's like the inner anatomy, like a channels, channels and chakras, but we're visualizing like these forms that everybody has. So these are important it's there, but it's important to make some connection to them, because if you understand, if you have made connection, if you have experience, then they have an impact on your transformation of your body and mind. Not only like understanding of these channels and the chakras and the petals, but like when we do the 9 breathing and 5 Tanu exercises, we are working with these channels and chakras. We are clearing the blockages. We are allowing the flow of the energies. We are exercising these energies through our body. So they become alive internally. This anatomy become alive. Like a turning on light in every room of the house. So every room is clean, spacious, and then illuminated. Rather than every room is like a junk storage. Dirty, dusty, dark. Yeah, sometimes that's how we feel, right? So once it's clean, it's illuminated, it's fresh, then there's some transformation happen. Like the third Tongra of Dharmakaya, like basically igniting the central channel. You can see it's like turning on the light, the central light. So then there is a transformation in the body, field of energy, in the consciousness. So there's a kind of transformation of full 3 spectrums. So that is what is happening in the Tumu teaching, right? You can see this. The last couple of years, that's what we're trying to do. Then we are doing like what we call clearing the channels. So clearing the channels with syllables, clearing the channels with tigles, clearing the channels with the light, the wind, subtle wind, and then clearing the channels. So if you are trying to clean anything, you have a brush, you have maybe a stronger machine, you have a lighter machine, you have more like a light, I said, you have nowadays this light, what do you call it? Like a water purifier, you turn on this, what light you call it? So? Anyway, it's fine. So, it's a different ways of cleaning. So, the main point, what I'm trying to say here, it's about self-transformation. And it comes down to body, breath, and mind. You can see the structure of the whole teachings. But the way we generally approach our transformation, we separate these 3 things. You look at the society, you go to the gym, there are people who are working only on the muscles in the body. Very very nirmanakaya work, and they're pumping up every part of the muscles in the body. And they don't see anything except these little muscles coming out of the different places. They look at the mirror, and instead of looking at themselves, they look at the piece of muscles in their chest and arms and so on, right? I'm not saying everybody's like that, but you know, there are some people, that's all what they're doing. And then there's other group of people, psychoanalysts or patients of psychoanalysts. What they're doing, they're just talking about this crazy stuff of their mind for years after year, driving each other crazy. So there's no sense of balance. It's very extreme. And then there is in between these kind of people who are reading cards and playing with the crystals and talking about another dimension and forgetting about the dimension they're living in and disconnected with their family, friends, and they're in kind of another world. They're not working on their body like people in the gym. They're not working with their mind like all these psychologists, but they're another world. I'm not saying any of them are wrong. Don't take me mistake. I think in the end of the day, I think it's a very good, humbling place to be. It's just to, be open and not judge anybody's opinion. Many times as a teacher, people come to me, they're telling their story about their life. Something happened to them, something happened to someone else. They're surprised by something, they said, I don't understand happened in a life. So I'm trying to find what would be the right answer to them. To offend them, I don't want to judge situation. If they're seeing something wrong, I don't want to say it's wrong because I don't know it's wrong. If they see something is perfect, I don't know it's perfect or not. So I said, if you don't understand, it's okay. You don't have to understand. It's not that expecting that I have to understand everything in the world. You're mistaken. You don't have to understand. Personally, I feel like that. If I don't get understand, I said it's okay. I don't have to understand everything. I don't understand it. I don't get it, this person, but it's okay. If I say okay, then I don't have a problem. If I don't say okay, I say I have to understand, and which I don't understand, then that's a problem. So when I'm talking about these teachings, I'm talking about these three different kind of approaches. It's okay, whichever category you belong. That's what I'm trying to say. Even you, when you're coming here, meditating, sitting here, maybe some of your family members don't understand it, right? They must be saying something like, what did you get out of it all these years? I don't know if they're asking you that or not, but if they do, what would the answer you say? Well, what you get out of all these years here, they might not understand. So in short, what I'm really trying to say here is this, what I see is a little issue is this comprehensive way, more integrative way of body, breath, and mind together, which we don't pay enough attention. That is, I think, it is an issue. Personally, that's my opinion, Body, breath, and mind. Do you pay enough attention to body, breath, mind in its development? I was just having a conversation with a friend of mine yesterday, and he's feeling a little concerned about his health. And I wanted to be supportive, So yes. I don't know what exactly to say or not to say, but I wanted to be supportive. And one thing I did mention is I said, maybe pay attention to your breath, or maybe pay a little bit of attention to your body. So many different ways you can do that, because we do hold so much in our body. Through, like you can sometimes see, during Second World War, people from the Second World War, the next generation, if you look at their face, their body postures, the trauma that they're going through that body, you see that. And very often, mostly sometimes the rest of their life you see something is not even changing. And not only what they've gone through those wars, but then afterward, when they have children, they transmit unconsciously, with advices, with sense of protection, even with the name of love, They
Now-
transmit those
Nawet,
pain. And these are transmitted down through the generations. And some of them, it takes number of generations to clear them. You hear, or you see there in their body, you hear them in their voice, you can see in their mind, it's there. So the practice is about when we're trying to do these three kayas, it's a different level of energetic transformation we're trying to prepare so these transformation can be easier. So my recommendation here during this retreat is pay close attention to your body, breath, and mind, and think about a transformation will be much more easier when they're all working together, and much harder when they are disconnected and not working for each other, they are working against each other. That make sense? Imagine, take one of those example of bodybuilders, take into the one new age shop, whether they are burning incense and smokes and playing something, let them, instead of going to the gym, let them go there for 1 month. What do you think? They will go crazy, right? Yeah, it's a good reason to laugh. You can imagine. Go crazy. In contrary, you can imagine one of those people in those shops, no incense anymore, no crystals anymore,
koniec kryształków,
no
koniec
feathers anymore, no
kadzidełek,
drums
koniec
anymore.
piórek,
You have
koniec
a machine,
bębenków,
weight machines for whole month.
tylko ciężary.
No feather. Imagine. As I always say, imagine Zen practitioner sharing a room, 1 month room with a shaman. Drum, incense, smokes, and crystals, and I don't know, cards, and all this stuff. Or shaman putting into the Zen temple with nothing, just watch the empty wall for 1 month.
Wyobraźcie
No
sobie,
smoke, no drum, no bell, no feather, nothing. Empty wall. They're very crazy. So in a way, we are like that. For example, when it comes to the food, we all know where you get your calorie from. Food. And immediately, everybody knows the power of the breakfast, power of the lunch, power of the dinner, special power of the sweets. But do you know the power of just being? Yeah, you can say, I know power of being in the gompa, not in a bakery. Power of the breath. We do not, clearly, we do not breathe properly. If you look at like these three breathings, the syllable, tigle, and the light. What is in common in these three practices? Clearly, syllables maybe is hard to understand. Tigle is a little easier to understand. Light is maybe even easier to understand, but everybody wants the light. But in principle, what is in common in all these three practices? Deep breathing. As I'm teaching, because it's hard to kind of breathe deep when you're talking, but if you're just listening, it's very easy. Instead of going, what is he talking about? What is he talking? That sounds strange. Oh, yeah, I want that. You're not breathing properly. Even middle of the discussion of deep breathing, you're not breathing right. So simple, I personally, I've been doing this practice informally, trying to integrate in my life, and sometime like doing the breathing of the wind with the light, doing with the tigle, but sometimes not necessarily with one of the symbols, but just the breathing. But to see how many hours I can do that in one day. Yes, I cannot do like a 24/7, not even do 24, but how many hours I can do. So many time in my life, everybody has a different life. If I'm as a traveler, when you're lying in the security line at the airport, who likes it to be there in the security line? You can see the stress. So how you're doing? Very bad breathing. You're trying to be the first, finish, trying to get there before. There's nothing you can do. We're trying to look, should I go this line, that line seems like better, and this better than this one. You go there, and then there's only one person you need who is like take long time. You're holding. So I was talking to my friend. It's like that in life. Pay close attention in life. We are either in a defensive mood or offensive mood, blissful mood, our body or the breath. I don't know, right now, if you quickly look back to yourself, what you are in? Can you catch yourself? Are you in defensive, offensive, or you're thinking, I did not expect this. That's not the good place to be. I wish it was finished earlier. He talked about something else. Feeling in misplaced in this moment. Your body is feeling it's misplaced. It's not a good place to be. Your breath, you're contracting the breath. You're not breathing enough or deep enough or slow enough. But when you bring attention to it, it's interesting. For example, if your mind is going a little crazy, because of that you can see your breathing is not good and your body is stressed out. If you pay close attention, mind has affected your body and the breath both simultaneously. And you can tell your mind, calm down. You're a practitioner. What's wrong with you? Be a little bit better than this. Yeah. When your mind is thinking like that, do you think mind is helping? No, mind is not helping. Yeah, mind is making it worse. Mind is not working. Against that problem is contributing to the problem, not helping. So that is where the breath comes. Not trying to force the mind. For example, you breathe in. I'm talking about more informal, not tigre, not syllables, not light. Just the location, a little bit more awareness. Means it goes up all the way here. It goes down all the way below the navel. Consciously reaching out locations, areas where usually you will not breathe. Slow, keyword, slow and deep. Breathing out, emptying your belly. Breathing in, filling up your chest. So even look. Breathe in, fill it up. Breathe out, emptying your upper back, belly, the navel area. Emptying out. Cleaning, it's clearing. Yes. And then in the end of the exhalation, just for a moment of hold, you can feel your abs are more tight as you're exercising. Repeating again. Just simply repeating this, maybe a few minutes. So the emotion problems that you're dealing with is already gone. So how breath is helping that. Does that make sense? So it's very simple. A little bit more deeper or more related with the teaching, like a tummo, then you can do like one of these three breathings. It's also a whole idea it's called clearing the channels. So whole notion of idea of clearing the channels. Of course, here it's referring to like these channels in the body, 3 channels and 5 chakras. Like in the Tsalung Song, that prayer, if you pay close attention to the prayer, all the teachings of Tummo are already in there, right? So clearing the channel, clearing the path, so energy will flow better, awareness will awaken faster. The energy is blocked, awareness cannot awaken, and the transformation will not happen. So I just wanted to say that, so if you look at so far in the Tummo teaching what we did, it's clearing the body, channels, anatomy, the energy, the wind, the awareness, preparing to transformation of the Trikaya. That's what we're doing. Is it making sense? Because many times we feel like a mind. We wanted to be feel happy. We wanted to feel clear, but we don't do the right thing with our body. It's hard. So I would, particularly in our age, growing up, and maybe some of you are like going to the gym and building bodies and so on, but everybody should work with your body, right? Last week we were in Germany, a retreat there, and every day I walk, except 2 evenings. I cannot walk twice, but I walk 16 kilometers every day. It's a habit. And when I tell I walk 16 kilometers, people will say, what? Where there's 4 kilometers in the village, evening I wanted to walk back, but this guy I met, he said, no, you should not walk. Please let me. He forced me. I don't want to ride, but he forced me to take a ride with him. I said, okay, well, he's trying to be really kind. I'll open my mind. I will sacrifice my 4 kilometers. It's okay. No, I did not want to take a ride, but
right. Okay.
He wanted to drive me, you know.
Yeah. Now I get it.
For me, I feel like this is important for us to do that because skipping breakfast, it's easy for me.
Ja
But
čujem,
if I miss my walk, it's a problem. I get more out of my walk being alone, being by myself, nourishment more than the breakfast. Very often meals seems like it's a social connection, which is important. I enjoy food as a more celebration than the fuel for the body, like a gasoline for the car. During the summer retreat in the US, I did seven-day fasting. I discovered a lot. My whole journey, I'm not saying go crazy, I'm more logical, reasonable person. I think I'm not out there crazy. At least some people I think a little crazy. Unfortunately, that's my judgment, but I feel more rational, logical, but when I talk about like this, maybe some of you think I'm a little bit off also, that's okay. So my idea of journey was nourishment. Where do you get? And clearly that, as you're fasting, you're not getting nourishment from food, but are you getting nourishment? Where are you getting nourishment? Nourishment, when you're fasting, it's trying to be close to people, trying to see people who you are next to, trying to listen to the people who is talking to you, trying to talk to the people who want to hear from you, like to hear from you. Enjoy where you are. You're always exposed to the nature, and you're always breathing. Connect deeper with the nature. Breathe slower and deeper. This air, which is beautiful, gives you life, gratitude and appreciation. In Tibetan tradition, we say "Tingin Jinji Sesa," like the food of the samadhi, food of awareness, food of kindness, food of connection. Then you feel wonderful. Even though you like food, but you feel I can get elsewhere also much cleaner energy. So what I'm trying to say here is to open up ourselves a little bit more. All three dimensions of your body, your breath, speech, and mind. So until the next couple of days when we're doing this retreat, we'll have a lot of opportunity to practice these. But when you practice this, not to do like, just trying to breathe this, just struggling with these syllables, fighting with these syllables, or maybe thinking about the tumo, the greatest teaching I'm getting tumo, I came all the way far away, but get the tumo, get it. You don't have any idea what you're talking about. You have your crazy ideas about something, then I don't know. Everything you're learning, everything you are practicing, it should make sense to you in your life and transformation, that you can see the need to have transformation. If it's not happening there, these things need to help to do those transformations. That's what I'm trying to say. So this is like the practice is trying to get all this nourishment and energy and ideas. That's the idea, right? If not, at least not lose what you have. People say, I don't have energy. And then the breathing, they can really do comfortably. I don't have energy. Holding the breath. I don't have energy. I'm worried about losing it, stealing my energy. Always defensive mood. There are people like that. They think everybody's against them. Why are they against you? When you feel like that, you have to be aware of that. And trying to protect from when there's nothing to protect from, you're losing your energy. Trying to defend all the time, when there's nothing to defend from, you're losing your energy. So it's about not losing energy, discovering energy for our transformations. Yeah, maybe we do the three-door dedication. Enjoy the retreat.